live stream. I didn't do nothing to her.
I understand.
He say, no, hell no.
But the scriptures tell you.
All the prosecutors and that's why I believe. He said all the prosecutors and the lying ass prosecutors, bras up, all the prosecutors. He said, hell no. He said, and when I went back to court, oh, when they put bras in there, they say, oh my God, like a mirror. What the hell is this nigga doing? What is he doing back in here? What is he doing back in here? I thought we did away with him. I thought we got rid of him.
The Most High had mercy on you. He had but he had mercy on you. He had mercy on you. He does that. He does that with our people. That's called He's the most merciful. That's true. The Most High is. But at the end of the day, you have Christians that call on Jesus that have went through the same type of ordeal. But Esau.
How we pronounce it? I-S-A.
But that ain't his name. That ain't his name.
How we pronounce it?
His real name is Yahushua. When he walked the earth, you called him Isa or you called him Jesus, he wouldn't have answered you. What's your name? Yeah. What's your name, brother?
I got what you want.
I mean, just the name you go by. No, give me your real name.
Abdul Ab.
Okay, I'm sorry to tell you. Abdul is an Arab name. So that's another slave master name.
Shoulders, you really want. That's slave master name.
Okay, but Abdul is Islamic. That comes from those Arabs. So that's another slave master name. My slave master name is Murphy. That's Irish, and that has nothing to do with my Jew heritage.
Malcolm X say, he say, get rid of that stuff.
Okay, that's fine.
Arab told me, say, don't use that. Arab told me, say, don't use Abdul. Don't use the Arab name.
You know why? Because that's their name.
They're going to prosecute you.
Because you're not an Arab. You're not an Arab. That's why. You are a Hebrew, whether you want to accept it or not. So you coming up here talking about you Abdul, that ain't your name, brother. You done gave me another slave master name. Now, what's your real name?
I picked the names out the Quran. I picked them names, Arabic names.
God you're not an Arab.
told me to pick them names.
You don't come from Ishmael, brother.
Abdul Ab, Abin al-Saba Asim. Abdul Ab, Abin al-Saba Asim.
That would say Abla Babla Bling.
But if I call you Charles, would you answer to that? Exactly. Why? Because it ain't your name. So you sitting here calling the Most High Allah. You want to call his son Esau. He's not really answering to that. Yeah, he had mercy on you and took you out that situation, but that ain't his name, brother. So now you got to get back to the basics.
Now you know, it's books out and African heritage. We have slavery. Come over to slave ships.
Yeah.
You know, it's books. A brother tried to put that book out. He said we are slaves. They had Arab's name. We come up with slavery.
And they talking about
that they try to erase.
Y'all see it though.
You see, it's a book. A brother tried to process. He tried to put that out there. He said they squashed him out. They squashed him out.
But let's be real.
He said we're Arab nation. Them brothers, princes, they were princes, kings and stuff.
All conquered. See, here's the thing. Before the Europeans came on the scene and really got busy on us after the Renaissance period, you had the onslaught of the true Arabs who came through in the 7th century and started to crush our people, starting from East Africa all the way to the west. Then took us captive and ran up in Spain and Portugal under the Moorish Empire, under them Arabs. Right? And you took on that culture. That's how you got that. Then you come down to 1492, kicked out of Spain and Portugal to the west coast, and that's all you know. So that's why Kunta Kinte and them in roots is all they can say is Allah and Islam, because it was forced on you by the sword. Then here come the Europeans snatching you up and dragging you over into the Americas, and then they beat Christianity onto you. It's all slavery, brother, whether you want to go Arabic or English. Now, what's your real heritage? Because I see you got this right here. You ain't Egyptian, but what is this?
I am a black. You are a black Egyptian. I'm Egyptian.
We are Hebrews that are of
but
color.
I believe in Allah. Only. Allah.
But
only.
you got the sun god Ra on there.
I am a black Egyptian.
But how do you believe Allah say there's no
They
idols?
went astray. They went astray, brother.
Who went astray?
The Egyptians, yeah.
So why, in their era, why do you rock this? Because that's the eye of a sun god. You know that, right?
But you see what they say on the back? Allah only. Allah.
So you're gonna put Allah on an idol?
Listen, let me tell you. In 26:26, it say in the Quran. It say.
Man, I'm mad at you. Ain't got your Quran on you.
It say 26:26. It say your God.
Could have swore I saw your joint, right?
Forefathers, right from the beginning, was Allah. Then Pharaoh's God was Allah.
Man, the pharaohs had over 360 gods, brother. They had a pantheon of gods.
That was idols. Though.
Exactly. So
I'm trying to tell you. He said in the beginning, the Pharaoh's God was the Quran and Allah. The Quran was in hieroglyphics. It was in hieroglyphics. Before the crooked, evil priests
started worshiping Ra, the sun god.
They went off. Yeah, they went off. They took the priest. They went off in a whole different direction. They went off in a whole. They took the black people. The priests say Pharaoh, and the Pharaoh had to believe. But in the beginning, it was the Quran. The priests took it all off.
It was the Quran. The Quran was written in the 7th century, brother. AD. It's one of the newest religious books. No, it wasn't.
No.
There's no record of that. Because the Arabs, on top of that, before Muhammad came through there in Mecca and Medina, they was worshiping all types of idol gods. Way before Muhammad came on the scene.
The Quran says that there's one way.
The Quran is a big lie,
but
man.
Guess what, man? I'm so mad I ain't got my Quran.
I know.
Because at the end of the day, he said that way was the law of Moses. That's what he said. And we got the law of Moses right here, so what we need another book for?
I'm going to tell you something else. I'm going to tell you something that'll shock you. Gonna blow your mind.
Go ahead,
and I hope I can find it. It said, you go to Psalms. It said, you know what it says in Psalms, brother?
Which one?
I don't care. You and all you brothers, I love you. You look up Psalms. And you know what it says in Psalms? It says in Psalms, it says, God was in her palace for refuge. God was in her palace for refuge.
What Psalms is that?
I can't find it. Look up Psalms. It said,
look up Psalms.
I can't. It said God was in her palace for refuge. And you,
brother, at the end of the day,
look, sir, it's gonna say, and you gonna say, wow, when you find it, God was in her palace. Saying like God was a woman. Like,
so you believe God was a woman? For one, that ain't in no book of Psalms. That ain't in the book of Psalms at all. You believe God was a woman?
That's what it said in there.
I'm asking you, do you believe that the Creator was a woman?
No. It just said in the Bible that was an error. It was an error.
Don't say that in the Bible.
Huh?
It was an error. You look it up.
You were in error. That is not in the book.
And then on top of that, in the Quran, don't they talk about his 3 daughters? Don't Allah got 3 daughters? That's called goddesses. I know you read that before, right? I'm asking you.
You really told me something now. You really showed me. It said was. You really showed me something there. With Lot. Yes. Intercourse
with his daughters. Yeah. After they came out of Sodom and Gomorrah.
What was that?
What did they do? They got him drunk. They got him drunk and they took advantage of him because they thought all men was destroyed after the Mosai took down Sodom and Gomorrah. So what? What's your point? They were perverse. But there's laws in here that they weren't supposed to do that. So what's the point of that?
The point is, God looked like God didn't do nothing. Do nothing to Lot.
Whether you read about the Moabites and the Ammonites, they was completely perverse.
He didn't do nothing to Lot. That's great sin. That great.
So Allah didn't do nothing to him?
Wouldn't that be Allah according to you? That didn't do nothing?
Why would Allah allow that?
Yeah, why would Allah allow that?
Or was he just being merciful? He was being the most merciful one.
I was going on there. I was going there.
Basically,
He was being merciful. He's
He's
the most merciful,
He had
right?
sex with his daughter.
I mean, he had to be.
Want French
He had
fries?
sex with his daughters. Like,
But ain't Allah the most merciful?
Want French fries?
So the Most High, or quote unquote God, he was being merciful when they did that great wickedness, right? He had mercy on them.
Yeah, I was gonna go to that store.
We
You
are
should be open.
Hebrews. We from the 12 tribes of Israel, man.
Let me get this.
Take that, man.
Brother, they are cousins.
coming up,
They are our cousins.
Yes,
That's
right.
the only
Thank you,
reason.
right.
But you are from the 12 tribes of Israel. You got to keep that in mind. That's the key.
Can I tell you this? Can I ask you this? Can I ask you this? Okay. Right. Then what? Solomon, David, King.
Oh, brother.
What's that over there now? Ain't no kings over there.
Because you
Ain't
know
no
why?
kings
But guess
and
what?
queens
Okay, but
over
let me show you why.
What's that over there?
Okay.
Ain't no kings and queens.
Okay, let's go there. I'll get your scripture.
King David, King Solomon, and nothing over there.
Let me show you why.
That's the devil.
You're right, but let me show you how that devil got over there. Go to Deuteronomy 28:15. I'll show you why. And this is exactly what that took place on us. We're going to show you exactly why them European devils was able to go over there and take over that glorious land right there.
Ain't no nothing over there.
Deuteronomy 28:15.
Now check this out.
But it shall come to pass, if you will not listen unto the voice of Yahuwah your power.
So he said right here, if you don't listen to the voice of the Most High, your power, because they just made a covenant. They said, all your commandments we going to keep and do. But he said what?
To observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you.
So he said, talking to the children of Israel, all these curses. So all the things we dealing with as a people, social, financially, politically, religiously, this is part of the curse we dealing with. Drop down to 64. This is how these devils got over there into the land.
Verse 64. And Yahuwah shall scatter you among all people.
Now he said, I'm going to take you out this land and scatter you to all people. So you're going to get kicked up out of Israel, and I'm sending you to the four corners of the globe. Read on.
From the one end of the earth even unto the other.
So from one end of the earth even to the other. So the last part of it was the Western Hemisphere. When they brought us over here through that transatlantic slave trade to America, South America, so on and so forth, that was the last part. But the Arabs took us all through the Middle East and parts of Asia through the trans-Saharan slave trade. Before the Europeans did it. Read on.
And there shall you serve other gods.
There you shall serve what?
Serve other gods.
You shall serve other gods. Even what?
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
So our fathers didn't know nothing about no European named Jesus Christ. They knew nothing about an Arab God named Allah. They knew nothing about that. They knew about the Most High who created heaven and earth, whose name was Yahuwah. That's who they knew. Read on.
Even wood and stone.
Now, why do he say even wood and stone? Now, I'm going to show you real quick, and I know you know Islam.
Wood and stone.
I know you know Islam, so let's deal with the Christianity first. We know that them Romans, right? They like to make all type of idols out of wood. That's what they love to do. And they, oh, this is Jesus Christ, and they walk around with their crucifix, right? But here go Islam, right? You a real Muslim? That means you were supposed to go to Mecca at least once in your lifetime
and walk around
this, which is a stone that fell from so-called Allah.
If you can afford it. If you
can afford it. But you got to walk around this stone.
I can't afford it.
So he said you're going to go to the four corners of the globe and worship other gods, even wood and stone. This is why we run around here in that Christianity. This is why we run around here in that Islam like that.
And what's that book that the Pope is kissing right
Wait
there?
a minute. This Roman is kissing the Quran. Wait a minute. Something in the milk can't be clean.
Is it?
Yes.
Yes.
The Quran. Why is this European devil that is the chief devil on the earth kissing the Quran? Why?
You got proof of that?
Yes. That's the Quran. Look at who it is. Brother, this is one of the top. That's one of the top Saudis.
Who is that?
I can't remember his name exactly, but he's a top Saudi. You see him in Arabic garb. You see it. And he's kissing the Quran. Why? Because the Vatican actually runs Islam.
Get a name of that.
I'm going to get a name for you. The next time I see you, we're going to dialogue about it. But he said even wood and stone. And you go through the scriptures, he said, I'm going to bring the worst. Matter of fact, get Ezekiel 7. I'm going to show you where he said, I'm going to bring the worst of the heathen. Get your behind out of here and stop playing. It ain't time to play. Get me, okay, let's start at verse 21. Ezekiel 7 and 21. Now mind you, he said, I'm going to take you up out of Israel and scatter you to the four corners of the globe. Check this out.
Ezekiel 7 and 21.
Now he's talking about our land, Israel, the Middle East, right? Read on.
And I will give it into the hands of the strangers.
Of who?
The strangers. For a prey. And to the wicked of the earth for a spoil.
Now you said, wait a minute. What's over there? Nothing but evil. You remember you said that, right? Now read that from the top.
And I will give it into the hands of the strangers for a prey. And to the wicked of the earth for a spoil.
So I'm going to give it to them for prey and for spoil. So you getting kicked out and they coming in and they going to spoil and take this land over. Read on.
And they shall pollute it.
They shall pollute it. That's why our land polluted over there right now. They spilling blood, all type of stuff, dividing up the land, the whole nine. It's completely polluted. Read on.
My face will I turn also from them.
So the Most High said, I'm going to turn my face from them. Why? Because my people did me wrong, so I'm going to let their land go ahead and get polluted. Read on.
And they shall pollute my secret place.
Read on.
For the robbers shall enter.
Wait a minute, though. Who?
The robbers shall enter.
The robbers, those that take people's heritage, take their land, and then turn around and paint fake images. I'm going to let them come in here. They're the robbers, them fake Europeans over there today, calling themselves Jews. Read.
Shall enter into it and defile it.
And read on.
Make a chain for the land of the full, for the land is full of bloody crimes.
Because our people, just like today in the ghettos, we love to slay each other. That's what we was doing back in our homeland. Slaying and spreading blood all over the place. Read on.
And the city is full of violence.
Just like the cities we dwell in, they was full of violence, just like it is today. Because we them same Hebrew Israelites. Read on.
Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathens.
I'm going to bring the worst of who?
The heathens.
I'm going to bring the worst. So the bottom of the barrel, European that's going to come in here, I'm going to bring them and they going to do what?
And they shall possess their houses.
They going to possess your houses. Read.
And I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease. And their Kadesh places shall be defiled.
You see that? So that's the prophecy of what was to take place. That's why the people over there today in our land. Then in 1948, May 14th, they want to say, oh, Israel's born again. When all they was fulfilling was a declaration they had in the late 1800s when they was planning on taking our land over. That's how they got there. And now we over here running around talking about I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim.
But in the Quran, they got a whole surah
they dealing with Israel. They dealing with Israel. You know why? Because Muhammad sat his behind down with Israelites and learned about the true God, and then made up his own thing.
That's why I thought that is. No, I think that is. They say Israel. I think they should be called Israel.
No, I ain't, because you want to deal with Ra. Because you want to deal with this madness right here. That's why you wanted to be Israel or Israel God. No.
Let me ask you something. Does this thing have any power?
I'm gonna tell you about this.
Do it got power?
Do it got power?
I don't worship this.
So why you got it on? What do you need it for?
It's the Eye of Amun-Ra, the sun god, Allah.
The what god?
Allah. It's Allah. This is Allah.
The sun god?
I don't worship Allah.
But you said the sun?
You said the sun god.
Sun god.
Let's go.
Is one.
Get Deuteronomy 4.
God showed me this is Allah. I don't worship
the sun god, right?
The sun god. I don't worship the sun. I don't worship the sun.
You just called him the sun god. You said it's the eye.
This is the one God, Allah. The Egyptians took it the wrong way. They took it.
But you said you was a black Egyptian.
So you Following
So
that.
you following that?
Allah.
Okay, well,
Only,
check this
only
out.
Allah, one God, one God.
And you called him
I
what
follow
kind of God? You said he was the sun God, right?
I say Allah, God.
But you said he was the sun God, right? Let's show you something.
Now, in the Quran, it says you're supposed to follow the book of Moses. Deuteronomy 4 and 15. Take you therefore good heed to yourselves, for you saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Most High spake to you in Horeb.
So they didn't see nothing. They didn't see his eye or nothing. So where did this eye come from? Go ahead.
Lest you
It's
corrupt
an idol. I don't believe in this idol. Idol.
if it's
We
an idol,
worship
what
the
is-
idol.
You worship the idol.
I said, would it be? I mean, only Allah know. God showed me the one way.
Go ahead, I agree.
lest you corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image.
This is it. Lest you corrupt yourself and make you a graven image. Somebody made that.
Then he said the Egyptians went off,
Exactly.
so they corrupted
They
themselves.
corrupted themselves and made a graven image. Read on.
The
Hold on.
similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female.
Go ahead.
The likeness of any beast on the earth. The likeness of any winged fowl that flies in the air.
Go ahead.
The likeness of anything that creeps on the ground. Verse 19. Unless you lift up your eyes.
Lest you lift up your eyes. What's in the skies if you lift your eyes up? Go ahead.
Lest you lift up your eyes to heaven. And when you see the sun.
And you see what?
And when you see the sun.
And when you see the sun god, Ra, as you called him, read.
And the moon.
And the moon, you into that Muslim stuff, right? The Quran, what's on the top of them buildings? The moon, right?
The crescent.
The crescent moon, right? Read.
And the stars.
And the what?
And the stars.
They got the star on there too, right?
Yep.
Read.
Even all the hosts of heaven.
Even all the hosts of heaven, read.
Should be driven to worship them and serve them.
Wait a minute. He says to be driven to worship them. That's what you're doing, brother. Even though you don't know it,
I don't do that.
you are doing it. You just said you was with the sun god, Ra. You called him the sun god,
Yeah,
Ra.
but I don't believe it. I believe in Allah. See,
So why not get rid of that eye?
Let me show you. Because God showed me to bring it to the right way. God showed me to bring it to 26, the white God. He said, bring it to Allah.
To
the white way. He said, take it from the idol. Take it from the idolism of pain and bring it to one God. Allah. He said, take it from that.
Allah is stone,
He said,
though,
take
brother.
it from that, all that idolism.
Okay, but
and bring it to one God. Allah.
here's the wisdom that was given to your forefathers.
Akhenaten was, he brought it to the one God.
And
Akhenaten said, son God, listen.
Go ahead.
Akhenaten said, he was in the idol worship though. Akhenaten said, what? Akhenaten was on the right path. He was on the right path. He said, the son. But God
He just
said,
showed you that's madness,
What?
brother. You admitted that was the sun god, Ra. You said that.
I believe only Allah. Only
But
Allah.
what kind of God you call it?
Allah. I don't worship.
You said this.
I don't worship this.
So what?
I don't worship.
Why do you have it? It must give you some type of comfort or power or something because you got it.
From the old to the new.
so you
From the
taking that.
old to the new.
So long story short, you're going to take that and make it right.
Right. From the old to the new.
Here's the
Right. Old
wisdom.
to the new.
Here's the wisdom that your foreparents was given. This comes from King Solomon right here.
To the new.
You know Solomon was the wisest dude on earth, right? Outside of the Messiah. Okay. He says this, that which is crooked cannot be made straight.
So that thing that you trying to pull up, you trying to bring up to the date and say, well, they told me to take it from the idolism. Like you just said, you can't make it to be good. If it started out wicked, it's going to be wicked. That's what Solomon is saying.
And that which is wanting cannot be numbered.
See that?
It didn't say nothing about this though.
He said that which is crooked cannot be made straight. That thing was started out crooked, so ain't no way you can come along 2,000 to 4,000 years later and make it something good.
This my brother.
That's your buzz? All right, brother.
I love
We're
you.
going to see. We love you too, man. We're going to see you again. We're going to go through that Quran too next time, brother. All right? Okay.
You have just watched another episode of Dance Fever.
This episode's too, man. You know what I'm saying? Rise Israel. Praise the Most High before it's too late, man. For real.
That's right here.